What is going on, guys? This is ATC, and today I'm bringing you another Black Ops 2 commentary. A couple of things I'd like to say before I start the commentary anyways, and I'd just like your opinions on an Elgato HD capture card. At the minute I'm using a HD PVR, just the bog standard regular edition, and it is really good and all. It's got really good quality on it, and it's just everything that I need at the minute. But I was really considering buying an Elgato for the simple reason you don't have to click record to actually collect gameplay, and that can play a huge part in getting Battlefield 3 gameplay, because for the simple reason the games last quite a long time, and obviously you have to start up your HD PVR and you have to click record. But obviously when I'm recording you go under a little bit more pressure when you're playing to try and get good gameplay. Considering the games are actually quite long, you know, you have to keep stopping it and then deleting the file and then, you know, like continuing to record and stuff like that, and it can just seem like a major pain. Now, one thing about the Elgato that's really attractive to me is the fact that as long as it's turned on, it stores an hour's worth of video. So if you do manage to get something really cool in Battlefield, then you can always go to your Elgato HD capture module thing, and then you can just rewind it, and then you can pick out different bits of gameplay that you want to use. I think that's a fantastic idea, and I think you can get Elgatos for around about £110. I should be able to sell my HD PVR for about £80. And another thing that I was unsure of is the actual quality of the Elgato. Now, I heard that the quality is really good, but it is quite hard to get good quality with it. I'd just like an opinion from somebody who actually uses an Elgato, whether or not they are actually worth the money. It'd be greatly appreciated if somebody could comment and tell me whether or not it's worth buying an Elgato HD. So now I've got that out of the way, I'd like to talk about the main point of this video, and that is movies. I am a really big movie fan. In my spare time I'm either gaming, seeing friends, or watching movies. And I just want to talk a little bit about movie genres and what your favourite movie genres are. And my favourite movie genres are horror. I know there are a lot of subgenres when it comes to horror, like there's like claustrophobic horror movies like Alien, which is indeed one of my favourite movies, and you get like the slashers, you get like paranormal, and you get all the other different like subgenres like that. But I can only really put it into one genre. I'm not too keen on the newer horror movies because a lot of them are just relying on CGI and jump scares, which is not what I'm all about. I prefer slasher films mostly, but there are some paranormal horror films I do like, and there are, like, obviously I said Alien was one of my favourite movies, which is not like a fully fledged horror movie, it's more of like a claustrophobic suspense movie, similar to Psycho. That's more of a suspense based film, and so like I say, I can't really put all the subgenres out there because there is actually so many. Either way, I love horror movies. I know it sounds kind of weird, and I know a lot of you will be sat there like thinking, what a weirdo. Yeah, I used to just sit and watch horror movies on my own, and I have since I was quite young. And going back, at the first ever horror movie I ever saw was probably Gothica. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was like 7 years old, 8 years old maybe. And I watched it at my dad's house, and it absolutely frightened me to death. And the one scene that I can actually remember from this is the shower scene, and they're doing this like woman's like hospital prison thing, and she's in the shower, and everyone's faces start going real distorted and real strange, and you know that freaked the shit out of me when I was young. And then since then I've just been watching horror movies, and another one that scared me was The Ring. And now when I watch The Ring, it is honestly a really terrible movie, but I think I was about 10 years old at the time, maybe a little bit younger, when The Ring actually came out, and then at the time that was like super scary, and I was terrified from pretty much the start when she opens a cupboard and she finds, I think it's like a sister or a best friend, like in the cupboard, like with her face all like mangled and stuff, and that scared me as well. But now I can just pretty much watch them and feel unfazed by them because I appreciate like what horror movies are all about, and the whole point of horror movies is to scare you. Although I do not get scared, I find them extremely interesting the way they work, and I know it sounds really strange, but you know, you can't really change what you like and what you don't like. You know, I'm just like, while I'm talking about this, I'm trying to think of like what my favourite horror movie actually is, and you know, it's a really tough choice because I really like Alien, I really like the original Halloween, I really like the original Friday the 13th, sort of, even though it's like not really that gory or anything like that. I like the original Nightmare on Elm Streets, a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Streets I do like. The remake was okay, and the Halloween remakes were actually really good, the Rob Zombie ones. I know a lot of people don't really like them, but I think it was absolutely awesome just because it was so cool the way that Michael Myers was like 7 foot tall and he was just like tipping cars and stuff, so I really enjoyed that. And you know, as you can tell from that little list I just gave you, I do like all the horror movies because they're just like so simple and they don't rely on stupid special effects and CGI to make them good. They're just good because they're well directed and they put things in the right places and it just makes it awesome. I like the Saw series. I really like Saw, even though I wouldn't really class it as a horror movie. It's more of just it's like a thriller, investigation, suspense sort of thing, and it's just quite gory, but I really like Saw. It's just so clever, and even though the last movie wasn't so good because it was shot in 3D and the blood looked really pink if you didn't watch it in 3D, so I didn't really like that. It just seemed really cheesy. It seems to have like a really cheesy element about it. It's something that I can't really explain. It just seemed like incredibly cheesy for some reason. But all the other Saws were like awesome. I really like Saw, and you know I could just go on forever and ever and just talk about all the horror movies that I like and all the subgenres that I like. But sadly, we don't have time for that. So, what are your opinions on horror movies, and what's your favourite genre of movie? Because you know I like all sorts of films, and maybe another time I'll talk about the other types of films that I do like. But for now, I'm going to stick with this one as horror movies. So I know this commentary was a bit weird, but I just thought like it'd be something cool to talk about. So I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. It's been a pleasure as always, and I shall be seeing you guys soon.